We gonna spank her.
Don't say that shit to me.
We gonna spank her.
Disrespectful.
Don't say that shit.
I disagree.
Don't say that shit to me.
You don't tell me what to say.
Don't say that shit to me.
We gonna spank her.
Don't say that.
Are we
shit.
gonna move?
What I look-
No,
Move on.
you're gonna
Let's
get
just move on from
by
that
these
point.
niggas on
In
this
time.
internet.
Let
I
Pretty
think you
handle it.
have
Corey
to
Hall.
make it
The same way that you
respectful,
get
and
spanked
that was
by
inappropriate.
every
That's
single day, the
disrespectful.
same way you bend over for these men every single day, the same way you get pegged by them every single night. Don't try me.
What do you think it would actually take for women to be able to trust men in that situation? Do you think it starts with the men, or do you think it starts with the woman? And what could be done?
I feel like there's responsibility on both parts. People operate in their survival mode, and it's typically not just manipulation. It's a psychological state. I train on trauma in the brain and how that affects. It could be abandonment issues as a child. It could be their last relationship. It could be somebody abusing your trust, or somebody cheating on you, or things like that. And so I think that people have to. Something I think Keisha said is, or even Pretty. Don't get me wrong, but being aware, right? I think awareness is important. We all have a role. Like, this world is very insecure, and there are things that people are going to do and say that are going to affect us, right? And so how do we get through that, right? It's about being strong inside and building yourself up to be able to hurl over those things, regardless of what that looks like. And I think that what a lot of times people do is, just because this person hurt me, the next person that looks like that or may emulate that, or is trying to take on that position, now we're projecting what we experienced in that past situation onto them. And a lot of times it's not fair. And I think that sometimes men are the brunt of it, but then also could be the cause of it. So I feel like there's this like give and pull in it. I think we all have our own work to do. So there's no perfect answer, I don't believe.
Yeah. Also, therapy helps. Therapy helps. I don't care. I'm a big advocate for therapy because I feel like it's underutilized in the Black community. And if we can take a look at ourselves and understand why we do the things we do and why we feel the way we feel, then we can start with accountability.
For whom, Toya? The men or the women?
Both.
Who needs this therapy?
Both.
In this particular situation,
in this particular situation, I would say the women, but also the men, because you have to understand how to make her feel comfortable enough to trust you. You can't just go into something with blind trust. It sounds great, but it's just not real.
How does a man make a woman trust her?
Trust him?
Trust him, yeah. How does he do that?
I guess for every woman is different. So I can't really answer for everybody, but I can answer for myself.
Okay, what's your answer?
I think
for me, one would be making me feel safe emotionally, because sometimes I'll be all over the place emotionally. And I need him to be able to say, okay, babe, come here, sit down, relax for a minute, take a deep breath. Are you good? So I can center myself and get my thoughts, in order. And then that's Toya, one. Go ahead.
Do you realize you just said that therapy for the men because your emotions are all over the place?
Yes, I do know that. But however, they say that women are emotional creatures. That's our thing, right? And the men are so logical.
Men are not,
right?
They're not. So
they're not. They're more logical, right? So if they're so logical, I'm going off on a tangent right now. I feel like it. If they're so logical, I'm not saying all men, but it's always a man. Which one of the females know what I'm talking about when I say that? Nobody?
Crickets.
I think that I think it's fair to have certain expectations of men, Miss Toya, but I also assume, based on experience and watching a lot of women interact with men, I think you guys put too much on men. You stack the deck so high. Most of the development by the time I meet you should already be set if I'm dealing with a woman. And I think that's the issue. A lot of females exist, a lot of women don't. There's a vast difference in maturity. So basically what you're telling me is that if I come into your life, I have to have the skill sets to be able to somehow streamline your emotional
Not
world.
streamline, ground.
Okay. Ground you. Okay. Let's take ground. I think that's a fair expectation. I think that's a stretch because that requires skills. And I think as a person, as an adult, you have to know what your triggers are. You have to know when you're tripping. You have to know when you're irrational. You have to be able to recognize that. That's not my job as a man, in my opinion.
Yep.
That's not my job. I know a lot of, okay. So I think that's where sometimes the disconnect comes, and that's where these panels come in, because you got a lot of young ladies walking through the earth thinking, I meet him, he loves me, he cares about me. He should now be developed enough to know how to block out all this noise and center me. It's fair, but I think that really requires time invested, and usually a lot of time. That's just my opinion, and I'll let.
Well,
Also communication.
A lot of expectations. I think that we place a lot of expectations on each other, you know, especially as women. We like, man has to have this, he needs to be this. When I'm sad, he needs to pick me up at this moment, at this current time. If it's not at the time when I need it done, then he's wrong. Like, if he's not doing what I want him to do, that's just my take now a little bit. But I think that we just go in it with all these expectations, and as we're learning and we're growing each other, I don't think nobody goes in like with a clear, open head, open heart, open everything. We just come in and at each other, like, and we have so many expectations, and that's how we fail ourselves, men and women.
You know, I'm torn on this topic because I remember before I told somebody, I told a guy that I was on a panel with. He said you know how women act when, you know, they come out in an outfit that you don't like, and, you know, if you tell them to take it off, they're gonna have an attitude, right? Or they're gonna be mad at you. And I told him, no, she's not allowed to be mad at me. And he said, you can't tell somebody how to feel. I said, yes, you can, right? So I'm kind of torn on the idea that that I do believe that men are leaders, and I believe that you can absolutely tell your woman, teach her, and influence her on, if, listen, in this relationship, if I think that an outfit is inappropriate, or let's say it makes me feel uncomfortable and I want you to take it off, don't get mad at me, right? That's not going to happen in our relationship. Like, you're not going to be going to sleep mad because I told you to take an outfit off. I think that we as men are teachers, and we the closest thing to a father that's not a father when you're in a relationship or a marriage. It is what it is, right? And I can qualify that for you later, pretty. But it's your job to teach. It's your job to impart wisdom on your woman. It's going to be situations where they, like, emotionally they're making decisions that just aren't sound, or they're behaving in a certain way. And I know me as a man, that's where I step in. You know, that's where I ground you at. Yeah. So, but I agree with you too, though.
Pretty intellectual. You had. You can go ahead, Jay. But then go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
So I think I think we look at it as like men are this way, women are this way. And I think that it's not. So you're saying men are teachers, they're supposed to ground, but that comes with a level of maturity, a level of being grounded yourself and being aware and have done the work. You know, what works for you, your name is what, Mont? Okay. So say you may, your hard no is like, you know, listen, I'm not okay with you walking out the house in that particular outfit, right? Maybe the next man is like, no, baby, I want you to walk out in the outfit all day long. So it's not the same. And so say if I'm in this particular, say I'm in a relationship with you, Mont, right? And maybe you're like, I'm worried about what I'm wearing. You know, I can't do this. I can't talk to this person, right? But then I'm in the next relationship and he is completely different. I'm going to carry that because I've been accustomed to your style. So I think that sometimes it's not just so much survival mode. It's like, I'm in this, it's environmental. I've been in this position. Now I got to like relearn, retrain, learn a new way of being with this person. And I think sometimes that can come off wrong.
You drop your bags at the door. That's all.
Can I
easier said than done?
Can I tie something Trev said earlier to what Mont just weirdly said just now? So Trev said earlier, you know, if a man is providing everything for you, what is the difference between how he treats you and how he would treat a child? Right? Remember when he asked that question? Because he made the correlation that if a man financially provides, this thus means that you are a child and not a woman in a patriarchal society, right? He made
That's a hell of a paraphrase, but carry on.
One second. Then Mont just hop, skipped, and jumped into the conversation and said, I want to be your dad.
Mark, stop sounding like that.
Like, so
No.
what I want to say is, number one, y'all are weird. Number two, like,
Who's weird?
No,
Who's
no,
weird?
Trev. Let her talk. We gonna
All right,
get
go
her.
ahead. Go ahead.
We gonna spank her. Go ahead.
You gotta let her cook. You gotta let her cook.
Go ahead. I just wanted to make sure I
okay,
knew
so
I was
hold
weird
on.
or
Let
not.
me just real quick kind of make this clear. Don't say that shit to me.
We gonna spank her.
Don't say that shit to me.
We gonna spank
That's
her.
disrespectful,
Don't say that.
man.
I disagree.
Don't say that shit to me.
You don't tell me what to say.
Don't say that shit to me.
We gonna spank her.
Don't say
All
that.
right, we're
shit
gonna move.
What I look-
Can we move on?
You're gonna
Let's
get
just move on
spanked
from that
by these
point.
niggas on
Let's
the
time.
internet.
I think you
Anytime
have
Corey
to
Holcomb.
keep it
The same way that you
respectful,
get
and that was
spanked by these
inappropriate.
every
That's
single day, the same way you bend over for these men every single day, the same way you get pegged by them every single night. Don't try me.
I'm not offended
Don't
by
try
that.
me. Because here's the problem. Here's the thing.